Coming up on the next episode of Zuzu All Grown Up.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
You're now listening to Zuzu All Grown Up.
She's been featured in more than 20 films from the early days of film and television.
He is a psychotherapist and her loving husband.
Together, they are on a mission to brighten your day and your life.
It's a time to smile, a time to laugh, a time to expect more.
It's time to get inspired with your hosts, Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Chris Brunel.
It's time to meet Zuzu, all grown up.
As Christmas envelops us in its warmth and wonder, we invite you to dive into the spirit of the season with our special episodes of Zuzu All Grown Up. Whether you've been eagerly awaiting this time of year and feel ready to embrace all its majesty and grandeur, or if you need a little help to embrace the joy surrounding you, our episodes are crafted to ignite the spirit of Christmas in your heart. We aim to make this Christmas truly transformative, much like George Bailey's in It's a Wonderful Life, ensuring your Christmas story unfolds miraculously this season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Zuzu, All Grown Up.
We want to take you on a journey, a Christmas journey. More specifically, a journey into the spirit of Christmas. It seems Christmas comes earlier each year, but the real question is why Christmas ever goes away to begin with. Every day can't be Christmas Day, but the Christmas spirit could and should be with us every day. It's then, when we've learned the true spirit of Christmas, that, as Dickens put it, you can truly say, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. You can have that same spirit without a visit of ghosts on Christmas night. That's what we hope the result of this journey will be for you. By introducing you to individuals who truly embody the Christmas spirit, we aspire to deepen your own Christmas spirit, enriching not only your holiday experience, but uplifting your everyday life with greater merriment and brightness. If Christmas ends for you, then it never really began. If you've missed the message, we're about to embark on a journey of never-ending Christmas, and it starts now.
Get ready for Christmas miracles.
Get ready for Zuzu All Grown Up.
To be a soldier at Christmas, amidst the stark realities of conflict, is to look for solace in shared traditions and camaraderie. As they gather around makeshift decorations, exchanging simple gifts, or sharing a meal, the warmth of Christmas transcends the harshness of their surroundings. They reminisce about home, the laughter of loved ones, and the comfort of familiar rituals, even as they remain vigilant in their duties. In these moments, the spirit of hope and togetherness shines brightly, reminding them that they are not alone in their sacrifices, and that the essence of Christmas can bring peace to even the most tumultuous time. He was drafted into the war and served as a veterinarian doctor in Vietnam, providing care for more than 5,000 service dogs. Dr. Thomas Gillaspie is here to tell us his story and is joined by Randy Sherwyn and his dog Zuzu. Randy is a songwriter and creator and producer of Christmas Across the Lands, providing Christmas music to the troops for American Forces Radio Network. They are our special guests here on Zuzu, All Grown Up. Welcome, everyone, to the show. Karolyn, take it away.
Oh, I'm really excited today because today it's about really Christmas, and it's talking to someone who I really have known for many years. And the other gentleman I'm going to talk to is a doctor. He's a veterinarian, and he has some great stories to tell about his times in Vietnam way back. First, I'm going to talk to Dr. Gillaspie, and his name is Tom Gillaspie, and he is a veterinarian. He did a lot of work with dogs in the Vietnam War. And I think it's going to be very interesting to find out all about him. He graduated from veterinary school, and at the height of the Vietnam War, estimated that there were 5,000 scout dogs working for the U.S. Armed Forces in this war zone. And during his year-long tour of duty, Captain Gillaspie traveled throughout Vietnam tending to the needs of the sick and injured service dogs. In addition, veterinarians participated in the Vietnamization process, where they tried to win the hearts and minds of local people by treating their livestock. How'd that work out, Dr. Gillaspie?
Thank you, Carolyn. That was a very good introduction. It's taken me back over 50 years. Well, we didn't win the war, that's for sure, but it was a very interesting experience for me. I was born and raised on a small farm in Kansas and livestock farms. Going to veterinary school at Kansas State University was a natural for me. As you mentioned, the Vietnam War was going on then, and so when I graduated, within a few months, I joined the U.S. Army and was sent to Vietnam. Those scout dogs were trained to detect enemy personnel and booby traps. They would lead patrols, and unfortunately, they would get injured just like our troops did. And so that was my job, to take care of those dogs. That was probably my main mission. But as you mentioned, we did a lot of work for the local population too with their livestock. So that was also fun.
So it's really interesting that actually, K-State is one of the best veterinary schools ever, I think. So
Thank you.
When you started your career and you came back from Vietnam, what did you do then? I mean, were you kind of at a loss, or did you fit right in and get into the veterinary business right away?
I wasn't at a loss. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. When I went to veterinary school out at K-State, what you would do between your junior and senior year, you would go work for a private practitioner. And there was this Kansas State graduate that had a practice in Bradenton, Florida. And he always took one of the K-State students. What I did my junior year at Kansas State in the vet school, I lived in the university veterinary hospital and took the night calls. And so that way I got free board there. The kid that did that a year ahead of me had worked for this guy in Bradenton. So through him, I got the job there. So that summer, I just had a wonderful summer working for Dr. Butler in Bradenton. That's where I met my future wife. And so I went back, finished my senior year at Kansas State, graduated, worked that summer again in Bradenton. And then that September, that's when I joined the Army, or had to go in the Army. And then just a few months later, went to Vietnam. But as soon as I got back from Vietnam, we got married, and I again went to work for Dr. Butler. That was one of the reasons I volunteered for Vietnam, because if I stayed stateside, I would have been a veterinarian in the Army, but the Army also, the Veterinary Corps also does the food inspection. I would have been mostly a food inspector. And I knew if I went to Vietnam, I would get to do what I wanted to do, which is a practicing veterinarian. It actually helped prepare me for the post-Army career in veterinary medicine.
Wow, that's really quite a history. I know that you and your wife have traveled a great deal. Can you explain to me a little bit, or tell us about your missionary work that you did?
You have done your research. Yes, I still have to pinch myself to realize all of this has happened, but that a farm boy from Kansas could get to see the world by doing volunteer veterinary work. I started out with a little organization called Christian Veterinary Missions, and they sent me initially to Haiti. And of course, Haiti is a agrarian type economy, a lot of livestock. And so a veterinarian can be of real use down there. I guess I've been, probably 15 times to Haiti. And then from that, I started going to other countries too, just all over the world. My latest trips have been to Mongolia. And again, it's sort of like what the Old West must have been like in Kansas. And, horses and cattle and sheep and goats everywhere. So it's been a wonderful experience to see the world at the same time, hopefully help some people.
And indeed you have. What was your impetus to become a vet? What made you decide to take that path?
Yes, well, there were 7 of us kids on the farm, and 6 boys and a girl, and I was right in the middle. And so I seemed to be the one that was always taking care of the sick ones. And as I was thinking about talking to you, I realized that what happened, direct relationship with Randy and Zuzu, that we're going to talk about later, I'm sure. When I was just real young, growing up in the 40s and 50s there on the farm, we had a little rat terrier. He was running through the hay, and my dad was mowing the hay. And unfortunately, he didn't see little Spotty, and Spotty got his rear leg cut off by the mowing machine. Of course, back then, I don't even know if the veterinarian did small animal work. We would call the veterinarian for a horse or a cow, but we didn't even think of calling the veterinarian for a dog, And my dad bandaged the leg, and it healed. And the little dog lived 6 or 8 years after that, sired puppies. That had quite an influence on me. And then the other thing was my dad, when I was 6 years old, he went to a Shetland pony auction. Back in the early 50s, Shetland ponies were just real popular. And there was like over 200 ponies at this sale. And this little 6-year-old mare had never had a halter on her even. And I think like $225. We had a 1949 Ford car, and this sale was in Missouri, and we lived way out in Council Grove, Kansas. And so the rear seat out of the car, put it in the trunk, and my dad and my oldest brother held the little pony in the back seat of that car. My mother drove home with all the rest of us kids crowded in the front seat. We got home, and I got on the pony, and she immediately bucked me off. As they say, the rest is history. We ended up with like 30-some ponies, and I think that also had a big effect on me becoming a veterinarian.
Oh, I see. Sounds like you had a wonderful history and a foundation to become who you are today. Of course, I think kids that are raised in Kansas, they automatically have that. They definitely have a foot in the right direction. Well, let's talk about Zuzu and Randy. Zuzu is Randy's dog. And Randy and I met years and years ago. And very soon on this show, you're going to meet Randy. He has loved the character Zuzu, and he got this beautiful dog, and he named this dog Zuzu. And I was so pleased. I thought it was so wonderful. And Zuzu's had some issues of late. And one of those issues was her foot. And actually, Dr. Tom is her vet, and he did all that he could to help her. She's getting a little long in the tooth, which means old. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about Zuzu's latest illness and what you did?
Well, I first, and he may not remember, went to Dr. I call him Dr. G, back around 2000 when I had another dog with Cushing's disease and stuff. And then I moved from that area just a little bit further south, and I went to a different vet locally, close to me, just a few blocks. But then with Zuzu, I went to the local grocery store, and one of the ladies I know there said, we were talking about veterinarians, and she goes, yeah, I was real happy with, I believe his name was something like Dr. Noah, and how caring he was. I said, South Trails, darn, Dr. Gillaspie, that's who I need to go back to. And Zuzu had experienced pancreatitis, kidney failure, and a fracture in rear leg all at once. And I took her to my regular vet. He, quite frankly, was clueless. Took her to a different vet close to here, to my home. They gave her 5 days to live and said, yeah, otherwise we can euthanize her right now. And I just didn't want any of that because, she had a leg problem, and she was, kidney failure is something you control, you don't cure it. But I do anything at all for her. And so I was doing the proper steps. I read a lot, did a lot of research, and then went to Dr. Gillaspie, and her back, from the fracture of the injury, I could tell the leg was the paw was getting cold, and compared to the other paws, and eventually, Dr. Gillaspie even said that's going to fall off essentially. And one night, it was really just hanging there by skin almost. So I called Dr. G's clinic, and they contacted him. He told them what to tell me. And that was just before Memorial Day this year. And it was one of the most traumatic things I've ever done in my life. Easy for him to say, just cut her paw off. You know, it would be like me telling Dr. G, hey, here's a radio studio. Go in there and do a show. She's never had problems before until these episodes. And it was all at once. And 2 out of the 6 vets told me to put her to sleep. And I just would not accept that because, like in a song I'd written for her, I still saw the sparkle in her eye. And she wanted to live. And so.
Wow, you gave her that gift. That's what you did. Wow.
Every day's a gift.
Every day's a gift. Let's hear your story now. We've talked to Dr. Gillaspie, and he's definitely your friend, and he's your doctor, and he's watching over Zuzu as well as you are. But I met you many, many, many years ago. And, well, God, that makes us sound old, doesn't it?
Guilty.
You had me on your radio show, and then you had me, I think.
You did a talk at the Thomas Edison Laboratory in Fort Myers.
Yes. Yeah. It was a wonderful time. I met a lot of your friends, and you're just a hoot. Did you know that? You really are. So I think I would like to have you tell us something about what you do, because you do something very special for vets. I know that our listeners would like to hear about that.
Well, for veterinarians or veterans, I should say, not veterinarians, but it started in Rapid City, South Dakota. I was there working radio, of course. I've been doing radio all my life. And we were playing a Christmas show that was 12 hours long, a Christmas radio show, little blips about Christmas, and played music and stuff. And it was really, really expensive. And I said to my buddy at the station, I said, one of these days, I'm going to do one of these shows. I'm going to make it affordable for everybody, for all the stations. And so I did. I started at 6 hours the first year, and I had two stations, Fort Myers and Chattanooga, Tennessee. And now I'm over 100 and in about 6 different countries, and on the American Forces Radio Network, who I hooked up with almost 20 years ago. And it plays, I'm very humble to say, it plays with Wake Martindale Show and Chip Davis, who runs Mannheim Steamroller. And so us 3 have the show that runs during the holidays on the American Forces Network, 177 countries and ships at sea.
Christmas Across the Lands. Christmas
Across the Lands, yes. I have audio. I can play a short clip so you can hear what it sounds like. Just to give you, I could play probably 60 seconds of it. That includes a clip from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, I would love that.
Playing your favorite songs for the holidays. Christmas across the land.
Plus, after his debut last year, we welcome back one of Santa's little buddies, Wally the Elf. His insightful look at Christmas will indulge all of us with everything you wanted to know about Christmas, or you'll sure try.
Thanks, Randy. The pleasure is all mine. Anything to do with the holidays and making people smile makes me feel 10 feet tall, and that's quite a feat for an elf.
Christmas Across the Lands. And Christmas morning has always been a very special time. For some, the best morning of the year. These kids reflect about what the season is all about and did it better than most of us adults.
So the wise men went to Jesus.
They gave them gifts.
A stuffed animal, like a hippo one, that I have at home. Some diapers, and some wipes, and some milk.
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches.
This is Christmas Across the Lands. Well, I'm kind of out of my element here because personally I'm a dog guy, but I have many friends who have adorable cats. Christmas trees offer our feline friends a new opportunity for exploration, as many of you have seen on social media. So how do you discourage this behavior?
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I've got the answer to last hour's trivia question. 40% of our yearly consumption of which food item occurs between November and January? Is it nuts, eggnog, fruitcake, or rum? Movie mistakes.
In the movie It's a Wonderful Life, Thomas Mitchell, who played Uncle Billy, quickly ad-libbed the line that he was all right.
I'm all right.
Well, I'll just stop it there. There's been various theories about that actual scene, Carolyn. Maybe you have more insight than I do, that it was not planned. And
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
Start your morning right with premium coffee roasts available at ZuzuNetwork.com and drink them in your Zuzu All Grown Up coffee mug. Also perfect for tea and hot chocolate.
Stay inspired throughout the day with the same gratitude journal used by Karolyn and Chris, and check out t-shirts, hats, books, Christmas keepsakes, and more at ZuzuNetwork.com/shop.
This Christmas, be a Scrooge. Scrooge, as he was after the visit by the three ghosts. The one of whom it was said that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. You see, at the end of the story, Scrooge became the most faithful keeper of Christmas. His name should not be synonymous with miserliness, but rather with the spirit of giving and the powerful transformational experience Christmas offers to those who truly hear its message. What's most important in Scrooge's story is not how it began, but how it ended. As it is true for him, so it is true for all of us. It is not too late to be the best version of ourselves. May we each be true keepers of Christmas throughout the year, and without the need for a visit by the spirits.
Are you wondering whether to sell or donate the car you no longer need or want? Consider that. Donating it to a legitimate, legally recognized nonprofit organization, not only will you receive a tax deduction, but you'll be contributing to a worthy cause. Finding a worthy nonprofit organization can be time-consuming and even a bit stressful. I'm here to present to you one of the most amazing, legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organizations in the world. The United Breast Cancer Foundation. The UBCF provides screenings, treatments, aftercare services, educational materials, as well as patient and family assistance. We ask that you help in that mission by donating your unwanted or unused vehicle to the UBCF. Simply call 888-842-5505. The process is fast and easy. Call 888-842-5505. 888-842-5505. Help us in our mission and get a tax deduction. Call 888-842-5505. Thank you for your support.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and don't have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you don't pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call if you've been injured in an auto accident. Call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
Auto Accident Help Desk.
Join Zuzu's network today at ZuzuNetwork.com/join.
Karolyn is creating an international network of aspiring angels, everyday people who believe that they can help make the world a better place by making life better for even just one other person.
Let us know you want to earn your wings at ZuzuNetwork.com/join, and Karolyn and Chris will send you inspirational material to support you in your journey.
May all your days be merry and bright. And may the light of Christmas brighten your life this holiday season. You're listening to Zuzu, All Grown Up.
you can kind of tell by Jimmy Stewart's look at that scene, he looked awful surprised. And from what I heard was that was a production guy that dropped a bunch of equipment, and then Uncle Billy just kind of ad-libbed from there, and that's why you got that smirk from Jimmy Stewart.
He was kind of alarmed when he first heard it, and then he turned around and laughed and went on up into the house.
That production assistant did not get fired. I understand he made $10 because Capra said, "Hey, you just added great to the audio."
Yeah, he thought he'd get fired, but he got a surprise. And of course, Capra left it in the film, and it's a treasured piece in the story, I think.
One of the other things I was going to play for you here, because it relates to Dr. G and to Christmas, is we all know the song Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. And the artist is Dr. Elmo. It's great. Now, one other thing here is most people may not know, but you actually are a doctor, and this is not like one of your hip hop stage names, Dr. Elmo. You are a doctor. Tell us a little bit about your doctor past.
Well, I started out, I wanted to be a jockey, and I was raised on a horse and tobacco farm in Kentucky. And so at a certain point, when I was maybe from the time I was 10 years old until I was about 17 or 18, I was riding horses professionally, not in races, but I did ride in a couple of races. But then all of a sudden, in 6 months, I grew 6 inches taller and gained a fair amount of weight, and then I was too heavy to be a jockey, so I thought being a veterinarian would be the next best thing.
Well, can we blame it on Patsy's Pasta at that time in your life?
That was a little early. Very good, Randy.
Anyway, so Dr. Elmo really is a veterinarian, not just a singer.
I had no idea.
Oh, I've got a plethora of things like that for us. Everything from Donny Osmond visiting my dog at the vet hospital after an appearance here in Fort Myers. He talks about that. I've got that clip. I got Thelma Lou from the Andy Griffith Show talking about why they only did one Christmas episode. Here's something, kind of a trivia question.
You're giving us tweaks, but no answers.
Well, you're going to get answers. I just don't know how far you want me to go. Remember the song called Breaker 19, We Got Ourselves a Convoy by C.W. McCall back in the probably 70s and 80s? The only song, back when CB radios were big. What does that have to do with Christmas? Well, Chip Davis is the guy behind the band, and he was also the guy behind Convoy, and he told me.
I don't know if you know this or not, but before or during the beginning of Mannheim Steamroller, the very same group of musicians and I were writing for an artist that was a good friend of mine named Bill Fries, and we came up with this concept of C.W. McCall.
I was going to ask you that because right here on my notes I have Breaker 19.
Yeah, we were the Convoy guys. And ironically, it's the same group of musicians and everything that's known as Mannheim Steamroller.
Yeah, so all those Christmas songs you hear about Mannheim Steamroller, the instrumentals, started with a guy who did things for CB radios, and I thought that was rather interesting.
That is. Goodness. You met a great many funny people and serious people. Have they affected your life in any kind of way?
Well, I'm just so gracious and so humbled. I've got a chance to meet and talk to some of these people because, like I say in the show, we try to talk to the people behind the reason that we're listening to this song. One of the guys I got to know really well, and we would exchange pictures of our dogs, was a guy by the name of Frank Pooler. Frank, he passed just a couple of years ago, but he was the teacher for Richard and Karen Carpenter at Cal State in Long Beach. And he also did something else that was very special.
Whole story of having a favorite girlfriend. It's very simple. I was just finishing my first year of college. I liked this girl very much, and I knew that we were going to be apart. I was with my parents in a cottage up in northern Wisconsin. Yeah, it was up on Lake Gordon, it was called.
Ah.
I sat down one afternoon and I wrote the song for her. And then we broke up, and I forgot to give it to her.
Uh-oh.
Here's the best part of the story, Randy. I had forgotten about it until Richard told you about the episode where I gave him the lyric, but I didn't give him my melody. And I had forgotten about that, too, until one day he gave me a call. But I didn't know what he wanted, so I drove up to the A&M studios. He pushed a button, and all of a sudden this glorious sound came out, and I didn't recognize it because I don't know for sure that I'd ever heard his tune. But after about a minute, and I was spellbound.
Well,
I was just spellbound.
Well, it had been, 24, 25 years, or maybe not quite, since you wrote that.
He wrote his tune to it. I had heard that he had written it. He must have played it for me right after we finished it.
I mean, Karen's voice is just so beautiful on that song. I mean, could anybody else have sung it that would have made you any prouder?
No.
Yeah, so when he first heard Merry Christmas, Darling, after Richard had doctored it up with music, he had no idea for the first 45 seconds. He goes, wait, that's my song. I wrote that. You know, and he was just the nicest gentleman. I've always been a fan of the Carpenters anyway, you know, all my radio career. And so I had to ask him about Richard and Karen.
Did they or did you sense that these two were meant for stardom? Did they ever feel that way?
You know something they did? Richard used to bring her up for voice lessons on Saturdays, and I'd listen to her. She had to learn how to sing Bach and Schubert. So we'd go through that, which she did very, very well, but then we'd spend the last half of the lesson doing songs that Richard had written. Fabulous. And then Richard would take her up to Hollywood someplace for a drum lesson.
Was he always such a mentor to her? Did you sense that bond that he was taking care of her?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So that was the connection between he and Richard and Karen, who he remained obviously very close friends with till the day he passed.
Well, you have a lot of historical stories, don't you?
Oh, yeah, it's just...
How long have you been doing this?
Well, this is the 25th anniversary of the Christmas Across the Land show.
Wow.
This year. In fact, I've just completed... I now have a contemporary version and a country version. I just completed the show for this upcoming holiday season. In fact, I started writing stuff for 2025 already. It just has led me in so many different directions and so many different contact that I've made over the years. I've always had a passion for Christmas and dogs. Girls came in later.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And so I just expounded on those passions, and we're 25 years. I never thought I'd make it 25 years doing that show. I mean, it takes a long time to do it.
Well, explain it a little more thoroughly about how it's a 24-hour period on Christmas Day, isn't it?
Well, actually, I released it to the stations it was kind of funny. Right at this very moment, as we're recording and speaking, there's a Christmas Across the Lands marathon on holidayradio.com. Every show I've done since 2002, back to back. It runs for 10 days. On a normal year, a lot of people will kick off, the day after Thanksgiving. They'll play the show. It's 12 hours. They'll play it twice to kind of introduce to, especially those stations that go all Christmas music. It introduces their audience to the holidays. And it's been kind of a tradition for many stations to do that on Black Friday. Other stations play it, like here locally in Fort Myers, they play it on Saturday before the holidays, and then the holiday on Christmas Eve itself, and then Christmas Day. So the timing really varies between the stations. They have full reign to play it as many times as they want up until December 31st. There's one thing, and maybe Dr. G can chime in on this during his time in Vietnam. Did he ever listen to, and did they have it back then, the Armed Forces, now known as American Forces Radio and Television Service?
Yeah. It was a big treat for us over there. There's no worse time, to be away from home than Christmas. The song "I'll Be Home for Christmas," that's special meaning over there because you're not going to be home. So we really appreciated stuff like that. Especially at Christmas time and stuff.
I get letters from like Ramstein, Germany, and all over from military people saying, "I'm here alone. I miss my family. I miss my friends,
right.
But you helped me get through it and keep me interested in it instead of just sitting back and drinking at a bar." One of the things that, speaking of the American Forces and Armed Forces Network, they're the same thing. They've just been interchanging their names since 1969, back and forth. But I do a piece every year going back to old time radio and a show called Command Performance that used to be on the American Forces Network. And it was Bob Hope. And at this point, he had a guest by the name of Bing Crosby. And this was broadcast all over the world, sometimes on shortwave back in those days. And if you'd like, Karolyn, I can play you that little clip.
Oh, I love that.
So here we go.
Darn nice of you to dress. Getting formal tonight, formal. Formal? You got a shirt on. Is that a shirt? You get into bed quickly, don't you, huh? Thank you, thank you. Season's greetings, fellows, and a Merry Christmas to you, High Horn.
Merry Christmas to you, short, squat, and melodic. Say, you know, you're going to wear those earmuffs all during the show. Look,
my cheek chicory. You don't like my cheek chicory?
Your cheek chicory.
Yeah.
Well, shut it. You know, Cross, we've been on a lot of radio programs together, big ones, small ones, long wave, short wave, but Command Performance tonight is going to be different from anything we've ever done before.
Oh, you mean I'm going to get a few laughs?
Well, not that different, no. Say, Cross, you were a little late coming down to the studio. Where were you?
Well, you know how Christmas Eve is, Bob, with the kids and everything. I was home.
Yeah? How are things out of Boys Town?
Oh, they're rugged, Bob, very rugged.
Yes, they are.
Tell the truth, I'm a little worried.
Worried?
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm dressing up as Santa Claus tomorrow, and I'm afraid the kids will recognize me.
Don't worry, Claus. The minute you put on that Santa Claus suit, nobody will recognize you.
Why not?
It'll be the first time in 20 years you've worn a coat and pants that match. Don't miss that.
It's the first time I had a coat.
But seriously, Bing, to get back to the program tonight, I can't get over this Command Performance.
That's wonderful.
Imagine we're being heard by close to 1 billion people in nearly 30 countries.
Brother, when you lay an egg tonight, it's an international omelet, isn't it?
Okay, that was just, I like to pull pieces of old-time radio shows and Command for Performance shows and feature that every year or something different.
You know that Bing Crosby played my father in the movie Blue Skies.
No, I did not know that.
Yes, he was my daddy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee, and then you had John Wayne in another movie, too. Was he your daddy?
No, he wasn't my daddy. But I had a lot of famous daddies.
I see.
I just really liked Bing Crosby. A lot of people didn't. He was hard to work with, but he was great to me, and I really enjoyed playing his daughter. It was cool.
I heard that he was like all business when he went into the studio. He'd go into the studio, wouldn't allow guests in there. He goes, okay, let's do this, get it done. Usually 1 or 2 takes, and boom, he was gone. Was it the same way in a movie?
With me, I didn't have that experience. It was open. Jerry Colonna would come over during the day, and they'd joke around and have fun, and he would include me in it. He was a great guy. He was very friendly, and all the bad things I heard about how mean he was, I never saw that side of him. So he was really a dear. And Jerry Colonna was really funny. He played practical jokes all the time. I know that's people from a long time ago, and probably no one remembers them, but they were really great friends.
I read about him in books.
Yeah, right. Now you're just showing me how young you are.
No, I'm not that young.
Tell me about this song that you have done here.
Well, it's a Christmas song, and it airs in my show and has for the last 10 years. But I wrote it one afternoon sitting out by the pool. It was hot as can be, July, I think it was 2014, 10 years ago. At that point in my life, I was single, didn't even have a girlfriend. But I ended up sitting out there writing a song called Would You Be My Missus for Christmas? Where it came from, no clue. And besides that, it's got a country flavor.
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
To find out more about the organization featured in today's episode or a previous episode, and to learn more about how you can help, go to zuzunetwork.com/beanangel.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This is an important announcement for anyone who wants health insurance, even if you missed the deadline. Right now, you can get the health insurance you and your family need from top insurance providers, even if you have pre-existing conditions or no insurance at all. The Plus Benefits Health Insurance toll-free number has been extended to help anyone who wants health insurance coverage now, or if you need a better plan or a lower price. Call Plus Benefits Health Insurance now at 800-332-1993. The call is 100% free and the help is real. Call 800-332-1993. That's 800-332-1993.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-288-7088, 888-288-7088. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, NC. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult your financial professional before making an investment decision.
1 out of 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. And the chances are you know at least one person who's been personally affected. But right now, you can help. It's simple. Donate your unwanted vehicle, RV, or trailer to the United Breast Cancer Foundation. It's the easiest way to contribute to one of the nation's leading charitable organizations. The process is fast, easy, and free. Not only will you be helping, but you'll also receive a tax deduction. The United Breast Cancer Foundation offers an array of programs and services that help and support families and individuals dealing with breast cancer. But we can't do it alone. We need your help. Simply give us a call to get started, and we'll schedule a pickup date that is convenient for you. If you have any questions you would like answered before initiating the donation process, please feel free to call us toll-free at 800-324-6218. That's 800-324-6218. 800-324-6218.
Zuzu's Book Club features recommendations from Zuzu herself on books she loves and thinks you will love also. All of the books that the club reads, fiction and nonfiction, are inspirational and uplifting. Folks, this is a life-enhancing club to be part of. You can sign up for free at zuzunetwork.com/book club. That's zuzunetwork.com/book club. Today's special is Sibley's Christmas Adventure by veteran TV journalist Don Alhart. In this whimsical children's book, you'll relive the magic of the Sibley department store in downtown Rochester, New York, as Sibley the mouse has an incredible Christmas adventure that the whole family is sure to enjoy. To order your copy of Sibley's Christmas Adventure, go to www.zuzunetwork.com. That's www.zuzunetwork.com. or Amazon, or wherever you buy your books. Sibley's Christmas Adventure is available in ebook form also.
Wishing you a Merry Christmas and the happiest New Year.
You're listening to Zuzu All Grown Up.
I'm not a country guy. I mean, I'm not like you and Dr. G in the Kansas farms. I mean, I've always been kind of a city slicker. But if you want, let's play a little piece of it.
You were one of those northern guys.
Yes, I was the northern guy, Minnesota.
As December reflects off the fresh falling snow, thoughts of you take over like the warmth of your touch. Along with you we kiss and the angels sing. The little things you do and say are why I love you so much. Behind the brightly lit trees, mangers and angels, there's red and green, but all I'm feeling is blue. Made no sense to search till I found myself. Now you know that all I ever wanted is you. Would you be my missus for Christmas? I'm begging you down on misses for Christmas? A happy ending to a great love story. They say you never forget your first love. You're the only one I think about all year. People are Facebooking, the rest are all Twitter. Maybe I'll try, I'll do anything to make you hear. Would you be my missus for Christmas? I'm begging you down on one knee. Would you be my missus for Christmas? A happy ending to a great love story.
By that time, the first bottle of wine had run out.
You have found your wife. You've had a pretty wonderful go of it. And,
Actually, she was my first grade girlfriend. And then up until about fourth grade or so, then my family moved away, went to a different school, and then we both went our separate ways, but stayed in touch. And then every Christmas or birthday, I'd send her a message, and we still, contact each other. And the things change, and you never know what happens.
yeah. Well, that's incredible. Wow. Well, thank you guys for so much for being with me. Is there anything that we need to hear, Randy, that we haven't heard yet?
Oh, everybody I talk to or for the show, I always make sure that they said hi to the military.
Happy holidays, and it's Happy with B.J. Thomas. Mr. Thomas, it's a pleasure talking to you, and I want to say hi to all the service people listening to this Christmas show.
Oh, of course, yeah. Hi to all our servicemen and women, and hey, just call me B.J., Randy. We're buddies.
And there's another one that I have to preface. It's a minute and 18 seconds. Donnie is a heck of a guy, and he had come here to do the Edison Festival of Light parade as a grand marshal one year. And so it just happens to be that a terrier, like Dr. G, a rat terrier that wasn't doing well, was at the vet hospital. So we did the parade, and then on the way back, something special happened that you wouldn't expect somebody like Donny Osmond, who was pretty hot at that time, entertainment-wise. And he'll explain it. And I got to preface it. He does mention a song. Remember Brandy, You're a Fine Girl?
Yeah, I think so.
It was a _1 song. I think it was in the late 70s. He didn't like that song. In his fairness to him, he did explain that just personally he didn't like it. So he says that here. The band Looking Glass, Elliot Lurie's the lead singer, and he's been on my show. So I don't know if Elliot's ever heard Donny Osmond say this, but he respects him as you got to be very talented to write a #1 song and record it. So here's Donny, but the last piece is about my dog, Astro.
Randy.
Yes, sir. How you
Donny
doing?
Osmond.
Nice to talk to you, Donny.
Nice to talk to you, too.
Yeah, we came back to, I don't know if you remember this or not, probably not with all the stuff you've gone through, but back in 1990, you were in our Edison Festival of Light as a Grand Marshal in the parade. And I remember picking you up in a limo at your Naples hotel and driving back, and we had the radio on. And I always remember every time I played the song Brandy by Looking Glass that you hated that guy's voice.
Oh, can't stand that song. Can't stand it.
Yeah, and then you may remember this, though, because it's what was one of the highlights of when I think about you is we did the parade, and we were on the float. And we come out of that, and we were in the limousine going back to drop you off at your hotel. And I said, would you mind if we stopped at the animal hospital because I have a dog that's there and I don't think she's going to make it through the night. And her name was Astro. And we stopped at the animal hospital. And
oh, yes.
You came in with me to visit Astro, and she did pass away that night. So the last time I saw her, I always think about you guys, because the last time I saw her with you. And it was
that's
special
amazing.
Thing. Yeah,
1990. That.
Yeah, and he went in, and even though he's a well-known Mormon, I said, would you mind doing a blessing for her? Because I didn't think she was going to make it, and she didn't. So every time I hear Donny Osmond sing, whether it's Go Away, Little Girl, or something with Marie Osmond, I think of that special moment at the animal hospital. And I was so elated that he remembered that.
That's wonderful.
Carolyn, if we've got just a minute, I probably should, for your listeners, explain the Zuzu situation from a veterinary standpoint.
Oh, yes, please do.
So Randy and Zuzu come in, and of course, I haven't seen Randy in years, and he has this little dog, and of course, that's the thing that hits me right off the bat. This leg is dead. It's going to be gone. It's just hanging on by dead skin. But she had been through this awful pancreatitis, so her blood values were not good, and she wasn't an anesthetic risk, so I certainly wasn't looking forward to, amputating that. But what struck me overall, not just Zuzu was happy, but Randy was so happy. He was such a upbeat guy, and I could tell there's no way that we're gonna, put this dog to sleep, because she has a will to live, and Randy wants to keep her. So anyway, my mind went back to little Spotty back on the farm in Kansas, and how that leg healed, and so the next time she came in, it was my day off. I wasn't there, and one of my associate veterinarians called me up and said, "Hey, the leg is gone, the bone is sticking out. We probably should either put this dog to sleep or amputate the leg." And I said, "Well, I'm going to come over and look."
You were busy doing yard work, but yet you still came in to see us.
Yeah. Said it was the same situation. I could tell, by Randy's demeanor and Zuzu's demeanor that neither one of those were his option,
Oh.
And I can't describe the happiness the next time they came in, because the granulation tissue, the healthy granulation tissue, was growing over this bone.
Wait till you see it next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it's just wonderful. And Randy's looking into prosthesis, and I think there's just going to be a happy ending to this awful situation. But my associate was right from a veterinary standpoint, but luckily I'm old enough to look at the big picture.
I wouldn't accept euthanasia and amputation. Neither one of those was an option.
Exactly.
So I said, Dr. G is an orthopedic surgeon as well. We need to get him in here, or I'll come back when he's here.
Here's the great thing, Randy and Zuzu brought me this wonderful present of It's a Wonderful World with an autograph from Karolyn herself. I just couldn't wait to get home and show my whole family, because our youngest, we've got 14 grandkids, and our youngest daughter and her husband are building a house right behind ours, and so they're living with us right now. These two little kids just look forward to these, should I say, old movies.
Well, yeah.
This is going to be a family treasure for a long time. So thank you, Karolyn.
Well, thank
Thank you, Randy, and thank you, Zuzu.
I was the intermediate person in between.
There you go.
And so, but it was Carolyn's doing. So
it was just wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And I think we could probably go on for 2 hours, Randy. I think we're going to have to do this again.
Oh, I don't know. Zuzu might have to go outside. Not you, mine.
I know. Oh, my goodness. Well, once again, thank you. And both of you have a wonderful Christmas. And I'm so glad Zuzu's going to be on the mend, and you'll have a little more time together. So God bless you, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Do you know someone who is earning their wings? Someone practicing kindness and service to others? Perhaps an organization or initiative helping make the world we live in a kinder, sweeter place.
Or maybe you've witnessed the miraculous, the divine, the magnificent in some way in your life, and you'd like to share it with others. Go to zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory and let us know more.
You may end up being featured on an upcoming episode of Zuzu All Grown Up. That's zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory. Now here's Seth Kennedy with today's parting thoughts.
Thank you for this remarkable interview. And it's good to know that our service dogs have been well cared for, as well as our troops during the holidays. Bing Crosby once said, "Unless we make Christmas an occasion to share our blessings, all the snow in Alaska won't make it white." Over past episodes, we've met some people who are sharing their blessings. And while that won't guarantee us a white Christmas, it will give us a beautiful and blessed one. Make this Christmas an occasion to share your blessings with others, and I believe you'll be blessed as well. This has been Zuzu, all grown up.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Zuzu, All Grown Up.
We hope you've been inspired to live your most wonderful life now and to help those around you do the same.
Remember, no matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, there are people who care about you, and your life makes a difference.
It is a wonderful life.
Check out ZuzuNetwork.com for more on today's and other episodes, including transcripts and merchandise you won't want to be without.
New episodes are coming soon.
Keep listening to Zuzu All Grown Up throughout the holiday season for more uplifting content that will help connect you with the true meaning of the season.
That's all December long on Zuzu All Grown Up.
For transcripts of today's broadcast, go to ZuzuNetwork.com/transcripts. Zuzu All Grown Up with your hosts Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Chris Brunel.
Announcer and guide Seth Kennedy.
Executive producer Kevin R. Stillmock.
Coordinating producer Holly Ann Way.
Technical producer Stella Joel.
Managing producer Karina Filatova. A Wonderful Land production.
In collaboration with Radio Wonderful.